Pickaxe.
Join us at patreon.com/castparty for a whole plethora of exclusive goodies. 5-day early access to every Cast Party episode, including Nocturne, ad-free episodes, behind-the-scenes info, exclusive bonus monthly one-shots, access to our community Discord, where our community plays D&D games together, has game nights, and hosts so much more, all for less than the price of a single cup of coffee per month. Aren't convinced? Try out a free trial. 7 days free to check out the content that we offer only exclusively on our Patreon. Patreon.com/castparty. Support your favorite D&D podcast, all while getting some awesome perks. Patreon.com/castparty. See you there, casting crew.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cast Party. My name is Colin McManus, and I'll be your director for today. I am joined by Ryan McManus.
Ryan McManus playing Bjorg Jorgensen, the Jewel of Debauchery.
Anna Brisbane.
Lenore Devere, Chaos, very excited to push all the buttons, and I'm human now.
Nigel Deacon.
Hi, I'm Nigel, playing Jackal Campman, the leopard loner striving for companionship and not getting eaten by an ant right now.
Vince Perino.
I, Vince Perino, playing Tevin Alkin, the mechanism of discovery, reconstructing memories one piece at a time.
Raquel Skellington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Raquel Skellington, and I play Poppy, the tender-hearted giant.
And Luis Carrazzo.
Hello, I'm Luis Carrazzo, and I play Santos, the Glavinator.
Last time in our wonderful adventure, you all spoke with Joran of the fate of Hollow Glen. He told you the entire town left, that after Ilos fell, the resonance got stronger, and the town began running out of the crystals that protect it. He told you he was staying behind because he's waiting for his son to return before they both go to Karmarth to meet up with the rest of the village. The note his son left mentioned that he had seen something the night Ilos fell, and that he was going to the observatory, a place where they watch the orbitals day in and day out. You all decided that would be a logical stop after finding the next fragment of Ilos's orbital that's nearby. During your time in Hollow Glen, Joran mentioned it wouldn't be safe outside the village, but it also might be unsafe inside, as he showed you the carcass of one of these foot-long ants that he had killed. You all found places to get comfortable for the night, but as the darkness began to set in, there was movement across the village. Dozens of ants coming up and out of these wells that lead beneath the city. They erupted from the earth and started destroying these mechanical wells. You all moved to dispose of the ants. Jackal wading through a sea of them to turn on a well, searing their carapaces with this crystalline pink light. Poppy throwing radiant explosive sunbolts into groups of the creatures. Tevin shooting flaming bursts of fire from his gun. Lenore throwing fireballs so large they turned her human again. Bjorg using his own fire, used waffle as well as searing bolts from his gun to save a scared Tevin. And Santos using his glaive to dispose of as many as he could before turning on this nearby well, killing the last of the ants, save for one final ant, just eating a crystal in this well. This brief moment of silence was broken by a loud cracking of the earth coming from the broken down well to the north. A massive ant burst out of the well, the queen of the colony. 12 times larger than the smaller ants, it towers over the meager buildings of Hollow Glen, and Jack on a nearby building is looking eye to eye with this monstrous beast. Now, Jack, you watch as the beast drips this acrid pink sludge from its wide mandibles, and you can see it recognizes the destruction of the rest of the colony around it, and it turns to you. And so the scene is set. Question is, what's your armor class, Jack?
That's not fair. You can't start with attacking that thing.
It is a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
The queen rushes over towards you. All you see is what we would count as its like shoulders upwards, and just two of these legs come up onto the roof, and it starts clawing at you with its mandibles, trying to stick you with its pincers, and it is able to connect with a part of you. You're going to take 7 piercing damage, as well as I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
I got a 7.
Okay, that is going to fail. You're also going to be taking 11 poison damage. And Jack, I need you to roll me a D8, please.
A 9. 6.
Okay, I was very impressed you got a 9 on a D8. Jack, you feel this acrid pink sludge that's coming from this thing's mouth. It gets into your body and you start to feel a familiar sensation from it. Almost like that burning when the pink lanterns are on. It kind of felt like burning sensation on your skin, but this time you're feeling it inside, like it's in your blood. And it's going to make its second attack on you.
I don't like that.
That is only a 12 to hit, so that will miss. And we are back to the top of the order, and it just so happens to be Jack. Your turn.
Can I jump on it, please?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Roll athletics. Let's see how well you do.
All right, 30-20.
Hey.
Yeah. You're able to get on it wherever you would like. It's got this big thorax. The back portion of it is just inflated with this pink goo inside of it, and you can like see it through the outside. It's a little bit of like a clear carapace almost, just because of how much it glows from the inside.
So I'm going to jump onto the part that connects the abdomen to the thorax, that connecting point that an ant has.
Where you would put a saddle, of course, if you were to ride one.
Exactly, yes. I will be riding it. I plan to stay right here, and I'm just smacking the absolute gobstopper shit out of its thorax. Because if I know anything about glowing pink things, it's usually the weak point. I might as well reckless, because who cares? I'm going to die anyway if it hits me again. Dirty 20 to hit.
That'll hit.
13 total. Piercing. I'm using the hooked end of my hoopback to just it's a very much like a hacking motion, getting in there, trying to make it burst.
You're getting some cracking noises breaking through the carapace. You're definitely feeling it recoil as you're attacking it.
Good.
We are to Poppy with Santos on deck.
Poppy, seeing Jack climb up on that thing, whips out her boomerang again. The range of that is 60 feet. So I am going to try and assist by whacking that thorax.
Yeah, you're on the roof of the building. You got Joran around you.
Nat 20!
Oh, shit.
27 total. So it's 10 plus 8, so 18. Holy shit, that's a lot of damage.
I mean, that's what crits are for. With the crit, of course, that boomerang comes right back into your hand after making contact with it. The boomerang itself is not technically magical, but sometimes it feels it. On this roof, Joran's around. You have Lenore here. You're throwing it across the village towards the north, and you can see just Jackal trying to wrangle this thing, but you're able to make contact with that big inflated portion of this thorax that makes a nice crack sound. Especially Jackal can hear it, and then you're able to grab that boomerang out the air.
So actually I'm going to move. Poppy hops rooftops to this middle one right here.
Yeah, there's a big shed outside of Joran's place that you're able to hop from the roof that you're on across over, and you're just close enough to see the head of this thing peeking up and over these other buildings, and you're now within range.
Okay, so I am going to use a focus point, and I'm going to use my Radiant Sunbolt.
Yeah, so that means you'll be able to do it 3 more times.
I got 24.
24 hits.
7
damage on the first one.
Kind of looks like she's a pitcher in a baseball game as she reels up and throws another one. Wow, 23.
That'll also hit.
12 damage.
12 more damage is very nice.
And for the last shot, she puts her all into it and throws like a strike from Zeus, another Radiant Sunbolt. Ah, I got an 11.
Okay, 11 is not quite going to do it. As you throw this boomerang, you're running across the roof. You're getting onto this like shed that's just close enough. Boomerang comes back to you on the way, and you're throwing these bolts, able to make 2 strong connections with this beast. The last one, it does connect with the beast, but it just doesn't hit a spot where it can break through. Jack, you realize that, especially you on top of it, this thing's got a pretty thick carapace. It's probably going to be hard to get through.
She's real thick.
Sounds great. We are to Santos and Tevin. You're on deck.
Now, this one last little ant that's hanging on, I'm cranking the wheel. And Santos is looking at this like giant ant and how Jack is messed up, Tevin's messed up. Does this ant look like it's just about to turn to dust? Am I able to determine that?
This ant just happened to be far enough away from the light when you were cranking it, and there was like enough bodies in between it so it didn't start taking damage, and you're just looking at it, and it's just in this well here, just eating some of the crystals.
Okay.
You do know that like if you cranked it or just hit it, like it would die pretty quickly.
I don't know if this ant is going to draw more towards us. I'm cranking the wheel. I'm just going to give it one last like major crank, hoping that the wheel will turn for another maybe one rotation while I take off and head towards where that big ant is.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to roll me athletics.
Ooh, 24.
You've kind of finished cranking the wheel. The crystals that are here are starting to stop illuminating, and you kind of just give it one last push and turn away and start flying, I'm assuming, towards the north. Without even looking backwards, you start to see a bit of a pink glow behind you, but it's just for a moment. You do assume that the last little guy is gone.
Our pet.
No party pet.
They didn't seem very nice after all. I'm going to move north. Fly speed of 30. A quick glance. Does Tevin look like he's hanging on by a thread, like I'm assuming Jackal is?
No, I am sitting here just scraping off any little bits of any ant that was still on me. There's little scrapes, but I seem fine.
Okay, I'm going to action surge and use my action to actually move forward.
You're triple moving. Yeah, you're using the dash action twice.
I'm sorry, I can't. I look at Jack and I reach out towards him, and in the last minute, as I'm about to do something, I realize that he's just out of my reach, and out of desperation, trying to help one of my allies that I feel like are just have been wrecked. I turn right to Tevin, who is barely within range, and I'm gonna activate one of my maneuvers. You just see the surge of light burst from my hand, and it surrounds you, Tevin, as you gain 1d8. Oh, it's so sad. 3 temporary hit points. But it's something.
Oh, temp.
It's something. It's something.
It is something.
That's what matters.
Just a little bit shinier. You just buffed me up a little.
I did. Just a little something out of desperation, and that's all I can do.
Okay. That means we are to our newly buffed Tevin with Lenore on deck.
I'm going to run back towards the building to the corner and just lean up against the wall of it and look around the corner to see this new big ant and see Jackal. And I want to try to get a good range of where Jackal is and where this ant is from me.
You see that there are no more of these small ants. It looks like all of them have been taken care of, but it is just this massive one that has appeared. And yeah, the ant is here, and you see now that Jackal is on top of it, it looks like it's kind of trying wildly to figure out how to get its head towards its back to be able to get to Jackal.
With Jackal keeping its attention, I'm going to hide behind the building. And leaning up against it, the barrels come back out of my arm, and I want to inspect it and try to figure out how to fix this thing for my action for this turn. I have to roll, and if I don't get higher than a 10,
10 or higher, it sounds like. Yeah.
10 or higher, okay. And if I don't, then it is broken. So I rolled a 7, but I see the little bullet in there, and I'm trying to just get that thing jammed out, and it just slips out of my finger and goes deeper. But I smack the shit out of my arm, and it shakes a little bit. I am using my tactical mind to add an extra 1d10 to my roll, and I'm using a second wind slot to do that. Please give it to me.
You got this.
Yes, that's an extra 7. Thank you. Oh, I didn't want that broken.
Oof. Which is plenty. You give a big smack, and all of a sudden you just see bullet shoots out into the carcass of a nearby ant.
Thank you.
You can hear the gun like get back to where it feels like it's functioning properly. That means we are to Lenore, and Bjorg, you're on deck.
I'm gonna try to scramble forward towards Joran on the north side of the roof. On my feet at first, trying to balance. And then when I get next to Joran, I think I'm gonna fall onto my hands and knees and crawl the rest of the way.
Okay.
And crawl right up to the edge of the roof.
Just trying to get as close to
Yeah.
the ant as you can.
I am gonna use a sorcery point to quicken spell an enlarge reduce on the ant.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
smart.
And I think I'll reduce it, I guess.
What?
No other way. Come on.
Crazy. That'd be so funny. What kind of saving throw is that?
Constitution.
That is a 13 total.
It fails. It gets a size smaller.
A size smaller. So
Okay.
technically it is
Still large.
15 by 15 right now, so it will go down to 10 by 10. Jack, it's way harder to stand now. You had like pretty decent footing
Well,
before.
now it's like a horse.
Now it's more like a horse size.
Yeah, I was riding it. I was like straddling.
It says its weapons grow to match its new size, so hopefully it does 1d4 less damage.
Guess we'll have to see. It is definitely a lot smaller. Poppy, for like a moment, you like can't see it because its head gets so much lower behind the building now as it just starts shrinking.
And as my action, I'm going to cast a firebolt, grab the air, yank it down, bolt of fire for a dirty 20 to hit.
That'll hit. Little bit of fire going into this thing as it's shrinking with Jack atop it.
4 fire.
4 fire. We are to Bjork.
All right, since this is all happening at the same time, I am running 30 feet south. Waffle is going to move 15 feet north. As he just assumes his little toaster position, I would love to lob him as far as I can towards the ant.
Okay, you are running south as Waffle's running towards you like
Yeah, scoop him up football style and boom.
a dog coming to meet its owner after not seeing it for a long time. It's rushing on the ground towards you. You swing it up and you just chuck it. Roll me athletics.
Oh no, it's a 4.
Okay, with a 4, you know you have to throw it far, and so you think really high and just really hard, and you do that, but you throw it too high and not quite the right angle, so it doesn't get quite as much distance as you want it to. You see that it lands on the roof right next to Joran, and it is like able to see the ant now, but it is pretty far away, still about 40 feet or so from it.
I'm gonna yell up to Joran, sorry, just lob him as close as you can.
Since Joran and Little Monk are going next, Joran was going to shoot. I'm going to allow Joran to lob Waffle. Woo! And since they kind of aren't in initiative, depending on if he throws it far enough, I will allow you to use your bonus action if Waffle gets there. Why don't you roll athletics for Joran? He has a +0.
18.
18. Jordan does a much better job than you did. He's also able to launch Waffle also onto a roof, the roof that Jackal was just on, and it's just 5 feet away from the much smaller ant now.
I need listeners to know that one round happens at the same time, so I did not see Jack jump on top of the ant, and Waffle is blasting the fuck out of it. Sorry. It's a dex save from the ant and from Jack.
The ant got a 12 total.
Okay, that's gonna fail.
19.
That's gonna pass. It is 9 damage total, half on a save.
Fire damage coming out of Waffle from this roof. And then a moment later, you see from the sky, Little Monk opens its mouth and a big burst of lightning comes down into the ant. Vince, roll me a d10, please.
A 1.
Unfortunate. 1 damage coming in from Little Monk, but it works. We are to the ant as it continues to flail wildly, trying to get to Jackal. It realizes it cannot quite reach him, especially now that it is even smaller, and it does start rushing towards the others. It sees Santos, but as it comes around the corner, it does see Tevin around the corner of this building. Tevin, you are right in between it and Poppy. It's starting to look at Poppy. It's starting to look at Lenore. As you watch it, it opens its mouth. You start to see more of this pink goo coming out, and you start to hear disgusting sounds, like a cat about to vomit on a carpet. There is this upheaval, and there is more and more of this pink goo, and it spews it on you as well as Poppy And if it was not smaller, Lenore, you also would have been in range. But because it is smaller, I'm taking 5 feet off the range, so it would not hit you.
Hey, yo.
But it is pretty close. Poppy and Tevin, you are getting engulfed in this acid. It is corrosive. It is nasty. I need dex saves from both of you.
15?
Tevin failed with the 15.
Nat 20!
Ooh. She's chill, Rocky.
So it is 25 acid damage on a fail. So Tevin, you'll take 25.
Holy crap.
Poppy is going to take 12. Tevin, roll me a d12. And Poppy, roll me a d6, please.
7.
Tevin, you are officially, it's so exciting. We've been waiting. You officially have resolve. You will gain temporary HP equal to your proficiency bonus.
Oh, he's resonated.
Whenever you complete a short or long rest.
Oh shit, I got a 3.
You're feeling this
No.
almost nostalgic feeling, like you're having memories in this moment. You're feeling not like you're getting a memory, but the floatiness of the first time you've remembered looking up and seeing that shooting star across the sky when you first encountered the resonance and everyone else fell asleep. You're feeling that kind of feeling in your gut, but you aren't remembering anything. And you now have resolve.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Jack, it is your turn.
I'm kind of like angrily yelling while this is happening. Like, stop moving and changing size. And I'm just smacking it with the hoopback like over and over again. 17 to hit.
Yes, hits.
16 piercing. Still smacking the abdomen. Thorax.
You get a nice swing with that hoopback. That hooked portion goes right through, and there's like a little bit of a burst of this blood mixed with this pink goo come out.
Hot. Bonus action, I'm screaming. Jorg, if you let me on fire one more time, I'm coming after you next.
Well, get off the fucking ant then.
Poppy and then Santos on deck.
Okay, Poppy's gonna take the rope out of her backpack. She's gonna jump down from the house and move 20 feet past Tevin, running really fast. And I'm going to try and encircle its legs, and I want to go underneath it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you got the rope and you're trying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The shed you're on is not super tall. With you being so nimble, it's pretty easy for you to just jump down. Yeah, you rush over. I'm going to ask you for what is essentially a grapple check. So you can roll me athletics.
19.
That's a 9 total. So yeah, you are able to get this rope around these legs enough where it is, you're going in one leg, out another,
Yes.
around this thing. There's just a rope kind of caught all around, and this being is like trying to move, trying to pull apart, but you're able to kind of hold that rope taut enough so it is mechanically grappled and cannot move right now.
Okay, great. I'm now going to do an unarmed strike up from underneath. So I'm basically attacking its underbelly. And I'm like, ba 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 ba.
Choosing basically like using flurry of blows for this to just be able to make unarmed strike as bonus action. So you'll be able to do 2 as a bonus action.
Wow, 26. I'm rolling high today.
Jesus.
Very much will hit.
That's 7 damage for the first one.
Hitting underneath its carapace.
22
That'll also hit.
for another 7 damage.
It is grappled by you. You're basically pulling the rope taut with one arm and you're underneath it and just hitting as much as you can with the other one up into this thing's abdomen. Jack, you feel it was obviously very hard to ride this thing. It's like trying to get you off of it. Now you can feel that it is like more wobbly rather than like actively trying to push you off.
In between rounds, I'm just imagining me like holding the hook back in it with that last hit, and I'm trying to use that to like stabilize myself.
Beautiful. That means we are to Santos and Tevin. You're on deck.
Okay, so it is grappled / restrained, so I will get advantage on my attacks. I'm gonna move in and I am going to Great Weapon Master attack. I'm flying in and I see Poppy do this like crazy thing with a rope and tie up this still giant ant. I'm gonna strike it at advantage with my glaive. I'm gonna Great Weapon Master this attack. I will take the crit that I just rolled.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You
Yeah,
will.
you will.
Oh, that's gonna be a lot.
So 25 points of slashing damage on this thing as I strike it at its on its underbelly. Poppy, I imagine you just kind of see from your periphery this glaive just slide into view and strike up under this ant's kind of exposed underbelly. And then I'm gonna move in because I scored a critical hit. I can make another melee weapon attack as a bonus action on this creature because of a great weapon master. So I'm gonna attack it again. 19 to hit.
That will hit.
18 points of slashing damage with that second attack.
Holy
Nice.
crap.
Hell yeah.
Massive turn from Santos, this being restrained in this rope just as you're approaching, able to really go for that sweet spot underneath it, carving through the carapace. Bursts of this pink goo is pretty nasty. It's looking very, very rough, and that means Tevin, we're to you, Lenore on deck.
So after spending a good second getting all of this goop, gross acid puke off of me, he's wrapped up. So yeah, I guess where I'm standing, I will just take a step or two back. So I'll be at least 10 feet away from him and just try to take a shot right where nobody is on this thing.
You are technically moving out of his range, which is, I do think, a smart idea. It is going to attack you. It has disadvantage because it is grappled.
Yes.
It is going to get a 16 to hit.
Does not hit.
It does not hit. Okay.
Ooh. Damn.
That's crazy. But yeah, it gets real close to you as you're able to just move out of the way, bring up that arm, and be ready to shoot.
As I'm taking my steps back, I'm just firing the 2 rounds off at it. So it's 19 for the first one, nat 20 for the second attack,
Beautiful.
13 for the nat 20, and then the second attack is 5 piercing.
You're blowing through, like legs are coming off. Pieces of this body are coming off. You see not just a spurt of this acid coming out of its back, but you have cracked it so much that it is like almost a constant leak. And this big abdomen portion, this thorax, is just leaking more and more of this goo. It is slightly standing. Lenore, we're to you.
I'm gonna look at this thing and I'm gonna pluck invisible strings out of the air, like from the ground. And while I pluck each invisible string, there's like blades of grass and little flowers growing on top of this thing. And I'm gonna cast Wither and Bloom. Con save.
That is probably a pass. It's a 17 total.
It passes. It takes half. It takes 2 necrotic damage as these flowers just sap a little bit of nutrients out of it. But the pollen of the flowers is also gonna puff into Jack's face. So you can roll a hit die and heal that plus 3.
7. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll scooch back a little bit onto the roof.
Yeah, just you were really close to the edge, decided this might not be the best. All right, Bjork.
Oh, I'm running around the side of this house and hoping I can just peek around the shed and get within eyesight.
You're scrambling over boxes. There's like kegs. Like just Jordan is like not very.
Doran, pick up your trash, please.
It's just absolute chaos, but you're able to get to the edge with like a bucket stuck to your foot.
Gus! Ugh. I'm gonna see Waffle on the roof. Good throw, though, damn. Instruct Waffle to get to the edge, leap down, and go under it so it's pointed at its head away from everybody. And we're gonna 15-foot cone fire its head only so Jack does not get singed. Gonna have a dex save from the ant, please.
That's a 19.
Oh, gross. Okay, it's gonna take half of 10 fire damage, so it'll take 5.
Waffle, it's yours.
Oh!
What? That's crazy.
Let's go!
Waffle leaps down onto the ground with his little silver legs, and he's clacking with joy. He looks up and he points the nozzle directly at the ant itself to hit the widest surface, but then sees Jack peek his head over, and he shifts slightly and just goes straight up and held in this enormous blast. Instead of like a flamethrower, it's like a charged up eruption.
It very much is. It burns the front of this ant to a crisp. The rope that Poppy has around it starts to loosen as it burns and chars and even snaps in 1 or 2 places.
My rope.
The ant starts to fall, and you are left with this pink goo just continuing to come out of this thing's wounds. And you watch as it starts to glow brighter as this fire makes its way through the being, and it glows a bit more until you can see there's more energy building up, and it starts to rumble and shake, and this being explodes.
Oh no!
I need deck saves from everyone within 10 feet, including Tevin.
Oh. 25.
That'll pass.
9.
Fail.
8.
Fail.
I fail.
I rolled a 9.
18.
Okay, that'll pass. So Tevin and Poppy, you'll take half of 14 acid damage. Santos and Jack will take 14 acid damage.
Oh,
Waffle's hanging on by a thread.
Oh, God.
If you failed, I need you to roll me a d12, please.
Oh.
And if you passed,
Does Waffle also need to roll?
I need you to roll me a d6. No, Waffle does not.
Okay.
1.
Jack, you only got a 1 on the d12.
Thank God.
You were about to get your second buff, Jack.
No. Don't call them buffs.
Santos, you are also...
Resonated.
You also now have resolve.
I don't want it.
You get this burst of pink energy and you close your eyes for a second and all you see is that shooting star pass by your vision.
Okay.
And then Poppy and Tevin, what'd you get for your D6s, please?
5.
I got a 5.
Okay. You all are covered in this nasty goo. Jack, you are forced off of this being, especially as this explosion happens. It kind of makes sense that you were taking the brunt of it, while Santos was just not quite able to get away as the being burst. And it is very quiet across the village.
I'm immediately running up and getting on my hands and knees and Waffle, what did they do to you? And trying to wipe off some of the vile liquid and arms gathering up nuts and bolts and all the he has 1 HP left. Waffle's hanging on by a thread.
Oh.
I'm standing right next to you, covered in the same goo, and watching you with your toaster.
I'm just on the floor, my head resting on him. I'll fix you soon, my love.
You know that's the thing that did that to us. That thing made that ant explode, I say from the ground.
Well, if it didn't, you would have.
I don't set things on fire, Bjorg. I don't set my friends on fire.
I'd set you on fire.
My robe! I only had 1 rope!
I'm laying on the ground on my back because I've been blown to pieces, basically. And I just raised my singed arm hair. Yes, you set me on fire.
Puppy, I owe you a rope.
You do owe me a rope. This was hemp. This was nice stuff, okay? It was 50
It
feet.
was nice. I saw it up
Okay,
close. It
shit.
was a really nice.
Really nice rope, dude.
Well, it helped wonderfully. You did great.
I flick off some of the goo on me and I flicked some towards you just a little.
Ugh, gosh.
Santos, when you walk away and you walk by me, you see Tevin frantically trying to get a lot of this stuff out, and he's picking through all the open areas in his arms, legs, chest. Any of the tubing exposed that has the goop on it, he's really, really trying hard to get it off.
On that, I'll call to Joran. Hey, Joran, do you have a way to get this stuff off? It can't be good. This can't be the first time you've seen this goo on somebody.
We can wash you. Did your friend always used to be this tall?
No.
I am sat on the roof, just sat on my butt, poking my limbs and touching my costume fairy wings and trying to flap them and just confused face. I don't think I'm a fairy anymore.
Oh.
I can't move my wings. I take them off. Ah!
Oh, fuck.
I'm
Wait,
mortified.
put them back on. What if they come back? What if they come back?
They're not real. I got them at Party City. I put them back on.
I just watch you rip your wings off while mine are out. I'm going to take Tevin and kind of get you, pick you up and walk you over to Jordan. I think he's going to clean us up, buddy. Let's just get this done
Please,
over with.
Help. Get it off my lines, please.
You can see he just points to this little shed thing that Poppy was on earlier. We got buckets filled with water in there. You can heat them up, drip dry, whatever you want.
I'll get it started. Poppy runs in there to start setting that up.
I'll walk Tevin over and I'll clean up Tevin first.
As you guys start cleaning up, Joran shows you, Lenore, where he got up to the roof. It's through one of the second story windows that he helps you down into.
I'm like kind of crawling into the window and then wobbling on the ground on my shoes.
You're able to get inside and you see it's pretty dark in here. He rushes over, strikes a match, and then lights a lantern. There's like this big burst of heat when he strikes that match, and you feel it over your whole body, and you like shiver a moment until you can feel yourself shrinking again.
Whoa! Hey, and I'm flying.
You know, I thought the ants were going to be bad, but I've never seen this before.
I mean, me neither.
Imagine if you took them off and you still had them off in your hand. What would have happened? Ah! Oh God, Poppy's gonna go wash her hair.
Outside, I want to just take a moment and untie the rope from the ant legs. I know there's like singed parts and it's probably a mess. After I do that and we all sort of wander back inside, I'm gonna spend as much time as I need to cast mending throughout the rope. It may not be the full 50 feet, but it's something that I can potentially give back when it's done.
It's got like ugly patches.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a little while, but there is about 45 feet of rope that you're able to get back to Poppy. Some of it's just too burnt and up in the air to go away, but the rest of it, and yeah, it's got some patches and stuff, but it looks pretty nice.
I'd like to think that while I'm cleaning up and helping Tevin, I look over my shoulder back at Bjorg and I see what you're doing, because I too can mend things. And as you're walking towards us to give this back to Poppy, I'm going to approach you and I'm going to cast one little bit of mending on just one little part. And as I do that, I look at you and I say, now you have to say that I helped you.
Damn it. Can't let me do anything nice for once.
Do you pass my rope to me?
Yes, I'll hand it over. It was not entirely fixed. I got maybe 5 feet missing, but it's a signature rope now, one of a kind via Waffle and Santos. I say really quick and quietly at the end.
She like does a thing where she like stress tests it really quick, and I also cast mending on my rope. Can I get some of that footage?
You're starting to stress test it, and you can see, it's pretty good. Oh, it's pretty good. Ooh, there's one spot. Bjorg did just not do a good job, and you start to hear like threads ripping, and you quickly fix it yourself to make sure it's nice and taut throughout.
I'm gonna make the note that it's 45 feet now and not 50. Poppy looks over at Santos, is like, you cut one of my bangs short, and like you see this part of a side bang that used to be pretty long, probably down to her cheekbone, is now cut to above her eyebrow.
Ooh, it looks kind of cool, to be honest, but my apologies.
You want me to cut the other side to match?
No. Poppy's like, no.
Oh, like curtain bangs.
And she just washes the rest of the goo out of her hair.
And I kind of like go to your side and I start to explain, well, you see, I tend to keep myself in this sort of position where I'm a little bit behind you on an angle, and then I'll swing my glaive right in front of you, and you just see this giant glaive go right in front of your face. In case it was going to go for you, I could have done something to prevent some of that, but maybe,
She pats him on the shoulder. She's like, it's okay. You did your job.
You definitely did your job too. Nice work.
Thanks. You missed a spot, by the way.
I did my job. I made him small.
You did.
Hey, now you're small. Look at you.
Yeah.
If you're talking to Jackal, he's not responding. He hasn't really moved from where he got blown to the ground.
Jackal! Gonna fly up to Jackal. Hey, you hear us? You okay?
I'm fine.
You don't sound fine.
I'm not surprised. You can probably see like the points where I got pierced by the ant and I'm like actively bleeding. My fur is singed. I'm very fucked up. And the rage hasn't ended.
If I can cast a spell on something, hurt something else, I can heal you. I start looking around for something to attack.
I'll be fine. It's okay. Just let me calm down.
I think, Lenora, if you just put your hands on him, it might help.
I'll scratch you behind your ear.
And as soon as she does that, I cast Healing Word on Jack, but I'm trying to make it seem like Lenora.
Jack's probably distracted a little bit from the ear touches.
There is like a involuntary jerk like away from that because, well, I mean, everything's kind of tender right now, physically and emotionally, but I'll accept those healing words.
So 6 points of healing damage for you.
Jack, all of a sudden, you see and hear something coming from where this ant just was. And as you look towards it, you see little Monk jumps out from behind the side of the building to try to like scare you. And it drops a piece of jerky at your feet and then starts to back up away.
I'm kind of like coming down from wherever I was and like I like sit up and I take the jerky slowly, push myself back towards against the wall of the building that's behind me so that I'm like just leaning against it. Thank you, little Monk. I appreciate it. And I take a bite. I take off a little piece and hold it out to him while I'm chewing.
Yeah, slowly starts coming over, eating it with you. Suddenly, there is a loud popping sound from inside the building and then a crash, like something shattered. Doran's the only one inside right now.
I know I immediately start to run in to see if there's more to deal with in there. Thinking maybe another ant popped through the bottom. I'm not sure.
You run in. Santos is the first one into this open area, and you see Joran standing there with a bottle that is bubbling out. You see a nearby statue that was on the foyer has shattered. Well, I thought it was going to be a celebration. I was keeping this for a good day, but I figured we'd celebrate. And then he points to this statue that just got shot with the champagne cork and broken across the room.
Oh boy.
Figured it'd help us all sleep.
I'm just going to wait for everybody else to filter in.
Yeah, I walk in with everybody else.
Slowly wander behind.
He does not grab cups. He just takes a big swig right from the bottle and just gestures it out to the group for whoever wants some.
I am still outside, definitely just scrubbing away with as much water as I can.
I take a swig.
It's good. It's very bubbly.
It comes to me, and as I'm contemplating drinking it, I pass it to Bjorg and kind of absentmindedly say, I don't drink. Then I pass it to you, and I realize I do drink. I've been drinking at the tavern with the other guards for as far back as I remember, but...
Did I hear that?
Yeah, I'm like, definitely said I don't drink, and then I'm kind of muttering to myself, wait, I have. I guess I don't drink this.
Listen, if it's a new... I know we shared a drink back in Twin Rivers, but if this is a new comeuppance, if a sip is a sip, please feel free. I don't want to pressure.
I don't know. I smell it. Is it like a sweet-smelling champagne?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, maybe it's just that I don't drink this. I pass it back and I kind of like make a scrunchy face. Nah,
Oh.
it's not nearly bitter enough for me. That's probably it.
Oh, that's where we differ. I need the sweetest thing possible, and I take my suit jacket and I kind of wipe the lid and I take a swig without putting my own lips on it and then pass it back to whoever might want a sip.
After this, I'm going to go back to where I had initially set up for the long rest that never happened.
Joran kind of keeps allowing the bottle to go around, and then he says, I'm going to take watch again, and I'm going to take the rest of this, and he grabs the bit of bottle that's still left, and I'll be on the roof, but I think it might be quiet. I'll wake you. And he jingles the bell that he used initially to kind of echo through the village. Sleep well. And he goes up onto the roof with his little rifle there and a bottle of champagne. Y'all are able to make your little spaces comfortable wherever you'd like.
Before I get into a space like that, I am probably going to actually get up from where I was sitting and take off my shirt because it's covered in goo and spend some time washing it with Tevin just to get the goo out. But it's still like, it's like tatters now because of all the shit. So instead of going to sleep, I'm going to spend some time sewing that in the corner of the room.
Yeah, you're able to start fixing it enough to where it can be a garment again.
Gonna curl up on the couch in front of the fireplace.
Lenore, you close your eyes and suddenly you feel not quite like nice like a fuzzy cat would be, but you feel just the littlest touch of scales on one of your legs, and you see that little monk is curled up just right next to you, and there's like a little bit of warmth emanating.
Oh, hi. Are you warm-blooded?
In your mind, you see it he is very tired, so just kind of barely opens his eyes and looks up at you as you ask this, and in your mind, you just see the image of the fireplace across the room.
Wow.
There's almost like a purring feeling that's associated with that, like he really likes the fireplace and being so close to it. Tevin, you take some time, clean up all of your so many little spots that these can get into your body, any little openings, wash and wash and wash until you're pretty sure there's no more of this goo left anywhere inside any of your little compartments or on any of your components.
After I finish up, I want to try to find Bjorg, wherever he is posting up for the night.
Probably in some sort of recliner or single chair, trying to curl up the best I can, messing with Waffle before I get sleepy.
Bjorg, I apologize for bothering you, but I feel quite a big worry right now. Could you search me?
For what?
More of the goo. I feel as if there might be some more that I could not find. I cannot have it on my lines.
Understandable. Okay, so like your arm is out. Can you make your gun appear, and then I might be able to get inside and see if most of you seems airtight.
There's a few spots where you can see where there's no armor or anything, like, part of the face is unfinished and part of the body too, like throughout the abdomen and legs. But the arm does pop open for you immediately when you ask.
I will take a second and just get a little flashlight and try to see in there, notice some of the jammed bits from when it misfired and do some tweaking, make sure everything is like working properly, and then take his forearm and slap it shut so it closes the gun. And then I'll start working on his torso portion, see inside that like open air portion, see if I can find anything and if any remnants happen to be available.
Roll me investigation.
8, I'm sleepy.
Yeah, you're able to find any little just like openings that you can that go kind of inside. Look up. Every once in a while, you can see the littlest bit of remnants, but it's no more normally right on the outside. And just like Tevin must have missed it because he flushed out really good. The inside portion just happens to be like a little bit. And it's so small. You don't even have to tell Tevin. You can just kind of be like looking around in there and like swipe it away with your finger.
Oh, no leaks, no breaks. Seems like you did a good job cleaning the exposed portions.
And no kinks in the lines.
No, not that I found.
They are flowing.
From what I saw.
Thank you. All over, you said? Yes?
I hope so.
Good.
I can't access everything, but...
Thank you. I am glad. Good. And I'm just gonna give him a little pat on the head. I appreciate you. And I will walk out.
You as well. You could tell before, in that beat of silence, Bjorg wanted to ask a question and investigate further. But he caught himself and stopped.
Tevin finds a nice little spot to go into sentry mode to look over the majority of the group. I'm sure some people have moved to slightly further portions, so maybe not everyone you're able to see, but you're able to get a good view. And you're all able to take your long rest.
Oh, God.
And now with that long rest, Bjorg, Jack, Tevin, and Santos, since you all now have resolve, you gain temp HP equal to your proficiency modifier.
Trace.
Oh, I don't want it.
And we go from one level to another, right?
I mean, Joran does as he comes down from the second floor to awaken Poppy for the rest of watch. He is exhausted and he needs some time to sleep. And Poppy, when you're done with your meditation, he kind of asks you to just look over the rest of the village. You can very much tell that he's a little tipsy even after a few hours. Like, he definitely opened another bottle. You even go upstairs onto the roof and you even see another bottle that he had like drank. he finishes that long rest as well. For him, it's not quite so long. He's a bit groggy in the morning. You all are able to awaken.
I'm chilling on the roof, I guess, watching the sunrise.
I fell asleep halfway through sewing.
I'm gonna have some of that coffee he's making.
Oh yeah, Jordan's happy to make coffee. He's kind of going all out for you guys. He didn't initially, and now that you guys have been here, you see he brings out strips of bacon that have been like salted and have been waiting around, and he's cooking that in the morning. He's got some local quail eggs that he's cooking up. More the delicacies of what are left that he has here, his few rations. Making sure there's lots of food, coffee going around. When you get to the observatory, just, of course, tell Tobin to come home so we can get going.
I'm looking at the map on the table and I'm just kind of tracing my fingers along the trajectory that he advised us to go, recalling that there is an orbital landing on the way, and just kind of taking mental note of that as the group starts to, on their own, kind of come back together.
Santos, with how much you've been traveling and using this map, obviously with Jack's expertise, you've kind of learned about how far you can travel in a day. It looks like that orbital site is within a day's journey from Hollow Glen. When you're looking at the map with this orbital site, these other sites where there have been crash landings, much smaller circles. This one has like a couple of concentric circles, and it's much larger. It takes up a larger portion of the map.
Oh, I'll bring that to the attention to the group when we're kind of gathered, or anyone that's nearby. I'll just point out that section. Heads up, I think that when we get to this crash site, we should be ready for something bigger and potentially worse than what we've encountered before at the other ones.
Worse?
What if it's bigger and better?
Can't imagine things being better.
You're so pessimistic.
Well, it's good to prepare for the worst sometimes, at least mentally. That way you're not disappointed.
You can be ready for something bad to happen, but still hope that it's better.
I hear that. I don't know how to do that.
We'll get there. I pat him on the head.
I lean down to like sort of accept it. Kind of close my eyes. Maybe in a past life, Santos was a golden retriever.
I can see it.
And then I'm just going to observe everybody as they sort of kind of get their stuff together in the morning, but paying a little extra attention to Tevin and Jack's demeanor, because they are the two that were out of sorts in a way to me. I think I'm used to Jack's raging. I've seen it before in his sort of temperament shift. It's still a little, I don't know, it still catches my eye.
I had fallen asleep midway through sewing my shirt. If you look closely, you can see that I've got a couple spots in like my ribs where I have sewn myself closed a little bit. I mean, I'm still just sitting there with like no shirt on. So you can kind of see where there's like scarring from old wounds and stuff like that up on me. And I'm just back to sewing and I look like I'm mostly normal. Maybe a little somber, but mostly okay.
I don't think I'm particularly doing too much to prep for the morning. So just making sure the suit is straight, making sure Waffle is okay and tucked away in the pocket.
Bjorg, did you fix Waffle?
He's all right. I might see if Paprika can spruce him up in the pocket. Speaking of, she could spice up breakfast.
Ooh.
Breakfast? You hear from your pocket.
Yes, Paprika, come on. Lift the suit jacket up.
Paprika flies out with a basket that she has like crafted from random scrap metal that you have, and it's already just filled with spices and things that she pulls out of your pocket and rushes into the kitchen. You just hear, "Whoa!" from Joran from inside the kitchen.
Oh, sorry.
That's our book friend.
Oh, that's all right.
Let her do her thing. Whatever you have in there, provide. I promise you won't regret it.
You see Joran just like kind of steps back as Paprika, you can hear her speaking with him, and he just kind of folds his arms in like an approving dad way. Like when you see your kid do something really awesome, just like, okay. Very impressed by Paprika. As Joran comes back, he messaged to Bjorg, "Come here for a second."
Wander on over.
He kind of like looks at the other group and gestures you into a pantry, and he opens it and points to a small mini keg that is sitting at the base of the pantry. I heard your friend and you talking last night, and that's as bitter as it gets. Take it.
The whole thing.
It's small.
That is very kind of you.
I mean, you guys are doing me a great favor, finding Tobin, so that's a big thing.
A nice gift. I can't thank you enough. It's nice to have a nice drink at the end of a long day's travel.
I can help you load it up or whatever you need. And you see, he like struggles to pick it up.
I just pop it right in and I open the suit jacket. I know it's weird.
You kind of have to help.
Wait, put the spout end towards the front.
You have to like help him maneuver it a moment. This is probably like a gallon or two keg, so it's not like a big massive keg. It's like a barrel that's, maybe a foot tall.
I stop him with the nozzle hanging out of my pocket. That is incredibly clear.
Okay.
Perfect.
Y'all are able to eat the wonderfully delicious meal that Paprika has concocted.
Are you guys gonna let me know the food is ready or what?
I'll definitely call
It's
out.
probably wafting up the chimney.
Coming!
She smells something and she puts the little shoes she was working on back in her pocket. And then she comes inside. What's cooking?
It smells pretty good, but I don't know what it is. Come have a seat before someone eats it all. And I'm just not even being specific about anybody because I might be referring to myself.
There is a big plate of bacon, which is pretty much all Joran expected to make. All of a sudden, Paprika comes by with a large stack of beautiful pancakes that she has been able to whip up very quickly and drop them.
How does she carry it?
She unfolds her pages and they like come out like arms almost.
Okay, I get it. I understand.
She also has telekinetic powers too, because like she could just move, but that's mostly just for food stuff. But yeah, she's able to hold stuff when she needs to.
I'm gonna eat and then get ready to head out.
Nice meal to fuel today's walking.
As we start to do that, I'm gonna pull out the map and remind everybody of the trajectory, point out that spot where the crash site is, and call attention to the way that's circled and how it's different.
Bigger and better.
Well, maybe. Within the day, we'll be able to get there. I mean, it'll be a long travel, but I think that we can get there before our next rest if we hustle.
Sounds good.
Okay.
You see, they are pretty defined trails, and the only major environmental hazard that would be here is you do see that there's a river on this, but it looks like the trail that you can see goes straight like across the river, so you assume there's a bridge there of some sort at this location.
That's the aim then. I'll go outside, kind of get all my stuff together, waiting for the group, and if they're ready to go, then I'll start leading the way.
I put my shirt on.
I follow. Bye, little monk. I'm gonna miss you, little guy.
It's early morning enough where he's pretty awake now. He slept the entire night right next to you. Big lazy bones, but again, doing that, saying his goodbyes in the way he can, jumping up onto Jackal's like back like a predator and like fake biting your shoulder blades and then jumping and running around. Joran gives you all a quick goodbye, wishes you well, and just wants as much information about Tobin or to send Tobin home once you find him. And good luck.
All right. Thanks.
Well, are we gonna get going or what?
We're going.
I'm already going.
You're able to continue out of Hollow Glen towards the north, kind of heading north out of the village. Then it kind of starts to head more eastward. Couple hours of travel. You get to the point where it's like a beautiful high noon. It's a beautiful day out. It's really bright and warm. Kind of had like that 1-2 days of nasty rain, but just absolutely gorgeous out. Gets really hot after a while, but there is plenty of tree cover. Some of these trails are a little bit wider than others, so there's not quite as much shade, but a lot of them are pretty small, so lots of tree cover overhead. This particular trail that you're on is a little bit wider. Ahead, you start to hear the sound of slow-moving water. Sound of slight waterfalls that bubble and echo off the trees around. and you assume that you're heading closer to this river. And as you move further, you see there is a bit of a clearing, and then ahead of you, directly ahead, is a bridge coming across. And you start to hear more than just the water as you get closer. There is a conversation happening. The voices sound like they're coming from the shoreline ahead. You hear two distinct voices. As you get a bit closer and these voices come into where you're able to actually hear the words, they're saying, you hear, "Can you hurry up? I don't like being so defenseless like this." "Ah, you're so uptight, Mara. Enjoy it a moment. The water feels great." "Well, excuse me for not being able to relax after everything." "You're just upset you lost your lantern. I know it was special, but we can get you another one. That one was terribly rusted anyway." "This isn't about the lantern. We're defenseless out here. We don't know what's out here." "I am not expecting any trouble." "I am." And for today, that's our app.
Oh my God.
Thank you all so much for listening.
Mara.
I was ready to ambush them.
I drew my weapon and was about to attack.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just have to see if that
Definitely not.
happens. The start of next
No.
episode. These poor defenseless people.
Did you say defenseless?
They're so scared.
Wow, great job to everybody with the combat today. A lot of fun.
Yeah, that was great.
So many crits,
It
bro.
got, it got spooky. It was crazy.
My rolls today were wicked high.
Y'all killed it.
Like,
Yeah. And we're going to talk all about the combat and the high rolls and the craziness over on Behind the Scenes, patreon.com/cast party. Come join us, become part of the cast and crew. We have a bunch of fun, hilarious, amazing one-shots there for you, and you can be amazing and turn Lenore human if you add some stuff to our Wild Magic Surge pool. We've gotten to see more and more patron-submitted things, and that's going to continue happening. So, patreon.com/cast party. We will see you over there next week for Behind the Scenes, and in 2 weeks, we'll head over to the river and see what's happening. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye.
Come on.
Mara, I promise we are safe. This is nothing like those old children's tales. Did you ever read The Legend of Anne and the No Good Dirty Rotten but also untrustworthy map? A new guy got stuck in a bog so deep he had to make friends with that friendly swamp elemental just to breathe. We haven't even seen a swamp to get lost in, so we'll be fine. Or The Three Brothers of Basedrop's Crossing? Dragon sent those 3 silly little boys off on a quest for treasure, but mostly to get them out of her hair. I can't remember their first names, though. One was Havoc Hopsack, but the others I can't remember. Last name was Stooge. Those 3 stooges. They went off and challenged a bridge troll to a riddle contest, and lost so bad they had to be his towel boys for a decade. So we just avoid any riddles, and we are safe. Or that story about Dubward and the giant lemon. I mean, you stop at one lemonade stand and end up with a big head, and all of St. Elove's feral cats are after you. I remember Eric 5 was also in that story, but he didn't stop at the lemonade stand. Instead, he drank out to the nearby sea. I guess he ended up best man at the merman's wedding. So, sounds like if we just drink from our canteens, we don't have to marry any sea people. I am hungry, though. There was that one fable about Heather's bakery. Jesky Fire was a new baker and accidentally enchanted a bunch of cinnamon rolls. They grew legs and would do musical numbers across Decaria. Kaylee wanted me to go to one of their shows last summer. I thought it was just a children's story, but apparently that one was true. We got to meet Jonas, the head roll who makes heads roll. Judgment Day got arrested for eating one of the cast members, so as long as we don't eat any weird pastries, we should be fine. My favorite old story was the one about Lexi's traveling carnival. All the rides came to life at night and messed around with all the guests. In the story, Michael finds himself on a real horse from the merry-go-round. I guess he was an accessory to murder and a hay heist, the likes of which Icaria had never seen before. Meanwhile, Opti tossed a coin into the magic wishing well. Apparently it grants wishes but is partially deaf. Her endless luck turned into endless ducks. Ryan tried to make it big after that, serving duck specialties at low prices. But he wound up missing, with only feathers left in his bedroom that night. So we won't stop at any carnivals either. There was also this other one that I hated, called Bubba's Adventure at the Glass Caves. He and Winkle wander inside and are rude to the people who live there. They eat their stuff, they don't cover their mouths when they chew, and just rude. They both end up trapped inside a magic mirror and have to teach etiquette to goblins for eternity. My mom would make me read that story every time I put my elbows on the table. But we don't have to worry about glass caves out here. Or etiquette.